We know the medical history is sealed, and even so, in many cases, it's still come out in the news that a lot of these killers um, either were taking prescription drugs, psych drugs, or during the trial they were found insane for whatever reason, and they were, put on some psych drugs. And it all goes back to World War II, Operation Paperclip. It all goes back to that. When you're talking about the true rise of eugenics in America. Um, the psych, everyone knows the Nazis used to use methamphetamines, okay, and some of these drugs are related to amphetamines. So it's no surprise to me that the Nazis were experimenting with amphetamines as a way not only to make the troops more efficient, but to make people more efficient. So, you know, kind of work people to death. And they used drugs in the concentration camps to make it so some of the people could work longer and have to eat less, and they worked them to death nevertheless. So on these shirts you see psychiatry license to kill, you see psych meds turn kids into killers. Well, what you see nowadays, is that they're putting these drugs on kids younger and younger, and usually they'll use like poor performance in school, things like this. Um, they'll use anything they can to try to say maybe there's something else wrong with your child. Maybe you should go see a doctor. And as soon as you've done that, it's too late. Because now the doctor, as soon as you come in the door to him, you have a problem that he's got to fix, period. There's no coming to him and he's saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. That's not going to happen. No matter what the case is, as soon as you go to the doctor for help, he's going to diagnose you with something. And that something may turn your child or yourself into somebody else. Or, it can affect your temperament, which is what keeps, there's a thin line between somebody who's angry and somebody who's a killer. And drugs messing with your mind, and your serotonin levels can push somebody to do something that they wouldn't otherwise do. You see that in some of these Prozac cases where Prozac has caused people to go on a killing spree. It should have been taken off the market long ago, which is the case for a lot of these drugs. And some of them are. If you look at the FDA's list, all the time they're taking drugs off the market because they have to, regulate the obvious. When something is too obvious, they tend to do something about it or go through the motions of doing something about it. And that's what it's about right there. If the drug is killing too many people and it's opening the door to too many lawsuits, it's in the company's best interest anyway to have the drug taken off the market. So, and the FDA, they work with the FDA to determine that. So, I'm not too impressed about that, and the different drug administrations and different regulatory administrations, regulatory agencies, which there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. That's regulate everything from air traffic control to regulating food, regulating patents, and on and on. Now, basically, you have to understand that when the psychiatrist has a license, which they're some of the least educated doctors, some of the lowest scoring doctors, they're basically, of all the doctors, they're the least bright, and their practice is based on a non-science. What we do know is that this reckless practice has caused a lot of harm and a lot of people to flip out and do crazy things. Thank you.